Chapter 11. Cell Structure and Microorganisms. Introduction. See this elephant? With what a pride and grace he is walking. But have you ever wondered what might be the smallest component of such a huge body? Yes, we have already learnt in our previous grade that all living organisms are made up of small units called cells. The number of these smallest units is not the same in the bodies of all organisms. Looking at the size of this elephant, we can obviously say that this elephant is made up of more number of cells than that of this mouse. It would be interesting to learn more about this small unit called cell, isn't it? Come, so let us proceed to learn more about it. Cell. We have already learned that cellular organization is the primary characteristic of all living organisms, and that the cell is the fundamental structural and functional unit of living organisms. But have you ever given a thought on exactly how the cells organize and make up an entire organism? Come, let us understand this with the help of an example. Open this textbook and minutely observe its structural organization. Many letters together make a word. Many words make a sentence. Many sentences make a paragraph. Many paragraphs make a chapter. Many such chapters make this entire textbook. Thus, from this, we can say that the smallest unit of this textbook is a letter. Unlike the textbook, there are organizational levels in living organisms too. These are cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, and finally, the entire organism. Cells form the basis of the structure and function of all living organisms. It is only with the help of cells that living organisms carry out all their different life processes. We know that number of cells is not the same in the bodies of different living organisms. Thus, based on the number of cells, living organisms are classified into two types: unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. Some living organisms are made of a single cell. These are called unicellular organisms. On the other hand, some organisms are made of many cells. These organisms are called multicellular organisms. In these organisms, different types of cells carry out different body functions. But do you know how the life processes of unicellular organisms take place? All the life processes in a unicellular organism, such as digestion, respiration, excretion, etc., take place in the single cell itself. Great scientists. In 1665, a scientist, Robert Hooke, observed a thin section of cork under a microscope. In this section, he saw hexagonal compartments like those of a beehive. He named those compartments cells. This term is derived from the Latin word cella, which means small room. In 1838, two scientists, M.J. Schleiden and Theodor Schwann, formulated a theory about the cellular structure of living organisms. It states that all living organisms are made up of cells, and the cell is the fundamental component of living organisms. Further, in 1885, Rudolf Virchow stated that all cells are formed from pre-existing cells.